There are climbing ropes and mountaineering boots hung on the coat hangers, two side-by-side big screen TVs in the family room, something to do between sets. And on the wall hangs a large colored picture of Mount McKinley. At 20,320 feet, the highest mountain in North America, James stood atop of McKinley a little over a week ago. He can now conduct a lecture tour of the mountain from the family room, pointing out on the picture where he and his team set up base camp, where he helped save the Russian climber's life, in the craggy line of the West Rib from where he reached the summit. James talks reverently about McKinley, which is generally regarded as the world's coldest climb. There is something humbling about a mountain that killed 11 climbers from late May to late June, just 1 month. The before-mentioned Russian climber might have been number 12, had it not been for good luck and good timing. On his first assault up the mountain, James happened upon the Russian, who after reaching a height of about 19,000 feet was disoriented, had no sleeping equipment, and a broken crampon. James helped his new companion descend in the darkness to the 17,000 foot level, where fortuitously enough, an unoccupied Japanese tent awaited the Russian and allowed him to rest and thereby make it through the night. I really have a hard time putting my feelings about this experience into words, says James, a deeply religious 28-year-old recently accepted into the MBA program at Brigham Young. But it wasn't me saving anyone's life. Something higher took over. 2 days after that life and death experience, James stood at the top of McKinley, successful in his quest to stand atop North America. Since then, he's kept using a daily regimen of climbing the faces in Provo's Rock Canyon, glittering 45-pound weights around the living room, and of reciting a poem written by Moyle. A man in Moyle says he has no idea who he is, but he likes his words. Moyle's poem goes like this: you cannot stay on the summit forever. You have to come down again. So why bother in the first place? Just this. What is above knows what is below, but what is below does not know what is above. One climbs, one sees, one descends, one sees no longer, but one has seen. There is an art of conducting oneself in the lower regions by the memory of what one saw higher up. When one can no longer see, one can at least still know. Because of James and his faith, something higher, as he claims, was able to help him save the Russian climber that day, and continue on days later to summit the tallest and coldest mountain in North America. This story is a perfect example to me of accomplishing our goals and getting the job done while still helping others on the way and always listening to our Heavenly Father and recognizing His hand in our life. This story also teaches me about standards. What is above can see below, but what below cannot see what's above. Brothers and sisters, if we make the spiritual leap to summit the tallest, coldest spiritual mountains, we'll know what's below. And if we ever go below, we'll know what's above. And we'll know that we can always earn that back. I'm so grateful for the people I have around me and the lessons that my Father in heaven has taught me. This story specifically, as James happens to be a relative of mine. I will now pivot again. I will now share a scary yet amazing and revealing story of a group of friends who had an intense spiritual moment in dangerous Lake Powell, including 2 kids with mission calls. The group was on a boat, and one of their buddies was dancing on the back of the boat, holding onto the rope, when his foot fell in the water and his body slipped behind the boat. Luckily, his grip strength kept him holding on to that rope. He was getting dragged behind the boat like a rag doll, and everyone else stood up as this moment caught them by surprise. Both kids with their missionary calls in the front of the boat stood up at once, and when the operator noticed that the boy was flying on the back of the boat, he stopped the boat abruptly. The two boys in the front of the boat both fell backwards, which happened to be towards the front of the moving boat. One tripped on the seat, and the other fell completely over. Had it not been the boy that tripped on the seat, somehow catching the boy who fell off the front of the boat by both of his armpits, that boy would not be alive today. I felt Christ's love very strongly for me that day. I was the boy who fell off the front of the boat that day. Staring at the very unforgiving bottom of the boat, with water splashing on my face, and my entire back and neck dunked in the water while still moving 15 miles per hour, I felt extreme peace, love, and protection regardless of these unusual and uncomfortable circumstances. The boy that caught me by his armpits, people. He caught me by my ankles with his armpits, accidentally, blindly. What seemed like a physical improbability. 97% of my body weight was off of that boat. My hoodie filled with water and a lot of weight. Yet I felt Heavenly Father comfortably grabbing me by the hoodie and not letting me go under, knowing that I still had work to do. I know that the boy who saved me from falling felt God's power the same way that I did that day. Yes, it was him that saved me, but it was God's power used through him, and we both recognize that. The boy's name is Brock. Brock is now in the MTC, waiting patiently to serve the people of Australia. Something else took over for Brock so he could save me that day. Identical to how something took over for James so he could save the Russian climber's life in 1992, 30 years earlier. This proves that Christ and his love for us is and has been the same for as long as mankind. I can't even put into any form of words or statement how this experience made me feel. I showered when we got back to the houseboat, and instead of thinking about how I shouldn't be alive, I thought about how glad I was to be alive and how glad I was that Heavenly Father protected me that day. It feels good to be on God's side. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and for time and all eternity. That's the blessing that we get. Whether or not we have a faithful life on this earth, we get that blessing. And since we all know that here, we have something to look forward to every day and something to work towards every single day. Whoops. Should have done more bullet points. I've had so many amazing and selfless people in my life who have helped turn my mission desires into what is soon to become a reality. All of my amazing friends who support me so much and teach me so much, I love you. All of my still amazing friends who show me what not to do, I love you. My bishop who is watching over Zoom, thank you for always working so diligently with multiple Zoom calls across the country and in-person interviews when I was back, and being a big piece in helping me build a relationship back with my Father above. I love you. My stake president, for being so loving and positive and always challenging me to do good. I love you. My business partner and almost brother, Dallin, for training and teaching me about what my mission will be like for as long as I've known you, for always helping me no matter what. Our memories with each other will last a lifetime. We've touched every corner of the country together and have built an amazing brotherly love in just 2 years. I can't wait for the rest of our time on this earth. I love you. My extended family, cousins, aunts, and uncles, even friends, I consider you guys extended family. Thanks for always being so loving and excited for me. You guys were excited for me more than I was at times, and it kept me going. I love you. My brother JJ, for always including his little brother. A man that always stays positive and patient, no matter what, for others. I love you. My big sister Emily, thank you for never being afraid to share your creative and loving mind. Thank you for being my biggest supporter growing up. I've always looked up to you, and I always will. I love you. The people's favorite, my sister Mary, my built-in best friend. I've always been your biggest fan. I've loved supporting your volleyball passion from when you were 13 in your first year of club, all the way to playing in college in Wyoming. I love you. My grandma Janice, who has always been so supportive. She's infinite loving. And most importantly, she's always encouraged me to revive the Moyle missionary tag, which I will be wearing within the next 24 hours. I love you. My grandpa Jim, who watches over me and protects me with our Father above. I love you. My grandmother Joyce, who seems at times to be the only perfect person on this earth. They're all laughing because they all feel the same way. None of us can imagine you doing an imperfect thing. You've always given me the best example of what living a celestial life looks like, and I strive to be that way because of you. I love you. He's sitting there waiting for me to say his part. My granddad, Karen. He's the most spiritual man I know. He's always trying to teach all of his kids, grandkids, and even great-grandkids to be the exact same way. I will miss trying to beat you in golf. I love you. My dad, James, for always trying to make the situation better and more positive. You know where JJ gets that from now. Thank you for holding yourself accountable and trying to do the right no matter what. You're a perfect example to me of trying to choose the right no matter how old you are. And you're really old. I love you. My mom, Kristen, to have been raised by such an amazing Christ-like figure. When you're with my mom, there's always love. You can feel it around her. It vibrates around her. You can feel it in the home, even when she's not there. All of my friends and family know her as the most kind and loving lady there is. There aren't enough amazing words anyone can say about her. I love you so much. And lastly, my amazing stepdad, Brian. Easily one of the greatest guys I know. A man who is the definition of more than fair and wants to do his best to teach his kids and stepkids the same. I love him like my own father because I know he loves me like his own son. Right when he was done raising his own children, he was challenged with the task of raising 4 more. And I did not always make that the easiest task. A man who was the true answer to prayer. A man I met more than halfway through my life that has an impact that makes me feel like I've known and loved him my whole entire life. I know others agree. I know I have an amazing relationship with you, Ryan, in the premortal life. I love you. I know I had an amazing relationship with each and every one of you before coming to this earth. And because of our amazing Heavenly Father and His eternal plan, that I will have the same amazing relationship with all of you after our final judgment day. I have so much love and joy in my heart, all because of my Father above. He knows me, He knows us. He helps me, He helps us. He comforts me, He comforts us. He guides me, He comforts us. He protects me, He protects us. And most importantly, He loves me, and He loves us all. It's because of Him that we can share love with others on earth and after. What a blessing. Brothers and sisters, I'll see you guys in 24 months. I know this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. There is no waver or doubt there. I'm so grateful for the gospel of Jesus Christ and what it's done for me. If you haven't been able to tell you that, I'm so beyond grateful for the people that I'm surrounded with. I'm so lucky and so blessed to have those people, and I wouldn't change it for a single thing. To know that I have that for time and all eternity is the biggest blessing of all. It keeps me joy, keeps me happy. It will help me endure to the end. Brothers and sisters, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you didn't hear anything yet, listen to this. He loves us all unconditionally and eternally. We are always enough for our Heavenly Father. I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.